Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health Radio and TV. I'm your host, Sarah Banta. I'm a health coach, natural supplement expert, and a busy mom of 3 teenagers. Today, my guest will be talking about menopause, hormonal changes, and weight plateaus. And I know you really need that strong physical foundation to work on your mental health and your spiritual growth. Whether it's overcoming anxiety and depression, losing weight, or detoxing your body in the proper way, and even increasing that frequency in your life, you need that strong physical foundation of health in order to gain the willpower to make the bigger changes in life. If you're new to following me, I specialize in helping you get there. You can find my health articles, my cutting edge natural supplements, devices, and protocols at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. Accelerated Health Products is the sponsor of the show, so as you support my website, I'm able to bring you more cutting edge content and guests to the show. Today, as I mentioned, we are going to be diving in on how to manage your hormones as you enter menopause and reach optimal health. But first, I want to talk about some tools you can use to enhance the results you achieve, make it easier to improve your hormonal balance, improve energy, and reverse aging. The goal is to improve mitochondrial health and increase aging at the cellular level so those neurons are firing. And the first supplement I want to talk about is accelerated keto. This is the supplement that says, I can do this. It flips you into fat burning mode within 30 minutes and your body taps into its own fat stores for energy right away. You truly feel like you are in control. Physically and mentally, your energy shoots up. And when the body's running on ketones produced by the accelerated keto, combined with intermittent fasting and a low carb diet, instead of utilizing sugar or glucose for energy, ATP production, which is the cell's cellular energy, true cellular energy, increases significantly in the mitochondria, and mitochondrial biogenesis is optimized. As we age, mitochondria die. So this is helping the reverse aging process. Furthermore, the additional ingredients in accelerated keto breaks down saturated fats into unsaturated fats. And these unsaturated fats are easier for the body to utilize and easier for it to convert into ketones. So you actually have a second source of ketones. When you're fasting, the body fat is more readily available to burn for energy, which increases ketones, and autophagy, which is that cleaning up of the cells and reducing inflammation. It's kind of like Pac-Man going through your body and cleaning up the damage and the junk. And that is increased significantly. Because of this property, accelerated keto is able to defat the liver. And we all know that I love my liver, and the liver is responsible for converting stored fat into ketones. The more the person's liver is defatted and unclogged, the easier it is for the liver to function in all areas, including breaking down fat molecules into usable energy and increasing mitochondrial biogenesis. The liver is also where your thyroid hormones convert from T4 to T3, and that is from the inactive to the active form of thyroid hormones. As the liver functions better, the thyroid works better, and then what happens? Increased metabolism, increased mitochondrial function, increased energy. It's a win-win. Accelerated keto also has something called HMB, which prevents muscle wasting. And as we enter perimenopause and menopause as women, it's really difficult to hold on to that important muscle mass. That muscle mass is increased, and that will help with longevity. It's really important to sustain good muscle mass. Next, there is another ingredient in the accelerated keto called mucal, and it breaks down fat in the body, provides an additional energy spark to burning those fats. So it's a double whammy. And it also supports your joint and muscle health. There's another supplement in the accelerated keto called Tricatu, and that heats up the digestive fire, allows for extremely high absorption of ketones and other cofactors. Next is the accelerating iodine. This is like no other iodine. So if you're afraid of taking an iodine supplement, put those fears aside, because accelerating is the only monoatomic, non-toxic iodine out there. Sufficient iodine in all tissues is needed to produce 36 ATP per mitochondria versus just 2 when you are deficient. And 96% of you are deficient in iodine. It's no longer in our soils or our food. The ATP is that true cellular energy, and it's needed for brain function, physical performance, wound healing, the fat burning, and that healthy apoptosis, which is the dying of diseased and damaged cells. When ATP increases, energy and fat oxidation increase. Accelerating helps improve that fat oxidation, the metabolism, physical energy, and it supplies the necessary iodine for your thyroid hormones. As the thyroid is functioning optimally, as I mentioned before, the ATP is maximized. Exercise that you're doing is actually going to lead to further gains than when you are doing it alone. And if you're taking it with the accelerated keto, you're maintaining the muscle mass, actually building more than without it. And accelerating is the only monoatomic iodine that feeds the cells directly without being broken down like in other iodine supplements. Most other iodine supplements are, number one, toxic, coming from a radioactive source, and they are only 10 or 20% absorbed. Accelerating has a 100% absorption rate. It's further enhanced with scalar frequencies to detox the cells from heavy metals, graphene oxide, and radiation. It actually helps reverse the damage done to DNA from mRNA. Next is the accelerated ancient salt. Hydration, 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 especially when we talk with our guest about the keto and the different formulas of ways of doing keto. Salt is needed, but not just any salt, a full, complete salt. Accelerated ancient salt is the only salt that has over 62 minerals in it to hydrate the cells when you're fasting and also when you're just on a low-carb diet. But it also is negatively charged to pull out positively charged toxins, parasites, and undigested fats. It is also enhanced with scalar frequencies to help with detoxification and also detox you from radiation, heavy metals. And it also helps with nausea, digesting those fats, putting it on your tongue if you're trying to extend a fast, or if you're feeling nauseous. A lot of people get nauseous if they've got a backed up liver or gallbladder. The salt on your tongue really helps with that as well. Of course, it tastes amazing as well. I don't use any other salt. Next, I want to talk about some stem cell activation patches that's going to actually reverse hormonal progression, make us feel like our younger version of ourselves, increase energy, and you're just sticking on some stickers on your body. The first one is the energy enhancer patch, which increases ATP production in the mitochondria, increases heart rate variability, improves the bioelectrical measurement in the body called the phase angle, or the integrity of the cell walls. As we age, our cells get rigid. That cell wall is really important to keep it fluid so that you can let the toxins out of the cells and the nutrients in. That is enhanced with energy enhancer patches. And as we age and enter menopause for women, that is really important. They work synergistically with the accelerated keto and your fat burning, tapping you into an endless supply of fuel on the body. And all of these work synergistically with intermittent fasting and just increase those benefits. Just after 20 minutes, the capacity of each cell increases significantly, improves digestion, circulation, and you just feel good. You feel like you can do this. The next patch is the X39, and this resets your own stem cells, or over 4,000 genes in your body, to a younger state. So you're actually going to feel a difference in your hormonal balance. If you're experiencing menopause symptoms, hot flashes, that sort of thing, people report that those go away because your body is reversing aging. And it also reduces inflammation throughout the body and helps with overall energy, organ balance, and just a symmetry distribution of energy was improved in subjects as well. Next, I love this patch. It's the X49 patch. As we age, I mentioned, it is really difficult to hold on to that muscle mass. That X49 increases energy and recovery, but it actually increases muscle mass and burns fat. And as women, we don't want to lose our hair, which a lot of women are doing as we age and enter those hormonal changes. The X49 patch is showing a new growth of hair in women and men, and actually turning gray hair back to the original color. I am loving these patches, and working with the accelerated keto and the acceleradine, my energy is better than it was in my 20s. I'm feeling great all day long, and so are my clients. If you have any questions, you can email me, or just go to the link below and you can join my free group coaching, and it's free. I want to spread this information and help you and help your loved ones. I give more tips and tools through that free group coaching. And the difference between me and any other group coaching is I provide the most cutting edge, frequency enhanced supplements that work synergistically with each other, and your body does not experience those flu-like symptoms. You truly do feel great day one. So check it out at acceleratedhealthproducts.com, or leave a comment below. Now to the good stuff. Dr. Anna Cabecca is back. She's such a treat to have. She's a triple board certified and fellow OBGYN and integrative medicine and anti-aging regenerative medicine. She has a special certifications in functional medicine, sexual health, and bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Welcome, Anna. How are you today?
I am great. It is great to be here with you. Thanks so much, Sarah, for having me on. It's been a while. Tell me about those patches again you were talking about. I'm like, what are these patches?
We will have to talk about those. They are amazing because they truly do help reverse the aging process. And as we're going to talk about the symptoms with menopause, a lot of women are seeing those symptoms go away. They're seeing actually people that are in perimenopause, just getting that into that decline, are actually reversing it, where their cycle is becoming more regular. Hopefully they don't get pregnant, because I'm sure at that age they're not wanting that. But at the same time, it is really regulating that. But honestly, my energy today at the age of 46 far outweighs my energy in my 20s and even my teens when I was an athlete, and I just feel great, and it's steady, and mood as well. So definitely we need to talk after the show.
Definitely. I want to hear more about that. Yeah, I would tell you at 55, I was thinking about this yesterday as I was getting up in the morning and having my coffee with the sunrise, and I have my granddaughter here, and I published my third best-selling book, and just feeling like, oh my gosh, I am just soaking this up. I am enjoying this so much. And like, I feel better than I have in decades. So for sure, yeah. I completely resonate with that. And I want to just encourage, as people have heard that, yes, it's possible for you too. It is absolutely attainable for each and every one of us.
You just gave me the chills, because people think, oh gosh, I'm in my 50s, life is over. What do I have to look forward to? And look at all that you are achieving at this age, right? And feeling good about it and enjoying the aspects of it. And it's such a great age. I was actually thinking about this yesterday myself, and that life gets sweeter because we can still feel good and have the physical body that we want, and the energy we want, but we have the wisdom that we didn't have as our younger self. So we kind of get the best of both worlds as we're aging as women. And us women, we have so much on our plate with our aging parents, our kids, our grandkids. I don't have grandkids, hopefully not anytime soon, but it's just that spot we're in. We've got a lot on our plate, a lot of stressors, but if we can feel good through it and manage the stress, life is just so much sweeter and more enjoyable, and you can really take it all in. So that's why I'm so excited to have you on, because you are going to give us some tips and clues into how to achieve that during this hormonal change, when essentially we've got an organ that dies in our body. So maybe let's start with what is happening in the female body through menopause.
Yeah, one of the big things is that when we're going through menopause, our hormones are changing. We are physiologically changing. We're shifting, and within our 20s and 30s, I mean, really in our 20s and 30s, progesterone levels start to decline rapidly. And progesterone is DHEA starts to decline in both men and women. In our mid 30s to 40s, progesterone starts to decline as well. And I think this is something that's really so fascinating for us, and can definitely share that stress is one of the things that depletes your mother hormone progesterone faster than anything else. So it's often that people become really symptomatic in their mid to late 30s, early 40s, and you're like, it's too early for menopause. What's going on? But recognizing that there's small steps that we can take to make a difference. So from progesterone, our body will produce DHEA, and from DHEA, estrogen and testosterone, and then estrogen. And that conversion really depends on our enzymes and what else is going on in our body. But when we're under stress, cortisol will be produced in preference of our reproductive hormones. And so that's where we see this rapid, mood swings, PMS symptoms, breakthrough bleeding, irregular cycles. And that's one of the key things that's happening with our reproductive hormones. So to empower our body's own natural transition, we have to manage three most important hormones. And that is insulin, cortisol, and the most important hormone of our entire body, oxytocin, the hormone of love and bonding and connection. And it's the most alkalinizing hormone in our body. It's a anti-aging hormone, a regenerative hormone, and it's super, super powerful. So that's kind of the transition that's happening. And menopause is natural and mandatory. Suffering is optional. We can use diet, lifestyle, nutrient supplements, bioidentical hormones to help us through the transition. But we always first, that's why I love you, Sarah, and everything you do with conscientious focus on detoxification and liver support, is that we want our body to use what it's producing at the best possible way. And we want our body to continue to produce as much as possible for as long as possible, because we know healthy ovarian function is a marker of longevity. So everything we can do to keep the ovaries healthy makes a difference.
I love it. And I remember we talked a lot about oxytocin last time you were on. Why don't you give just a short synopsis of how to keep that in a healthy spot? And because then I want to get into insulin and the big ones. So let's talk a little bit about oxytocin.
Yeah, oxytocin, I always say it's the most powerful hormone of our body, and it absolutely is. And oxytocin is the hormone produced when we're happy, when we're joyful, when we're making love, when we're laughing, when we're celebrating, that feeling of pleasure, intimacy, when we're getting a massage, when we're getting a facial. I just came from a facial, so my face is a little shiny. And doing the self-care. And it was really important, Sarah, I'm going to digress a second to say that I am busy as anything right now. It is book launch time, and I am in back-to-back interviews for the last few weeks. And I made sure to make time in my schedule for a facial today, which I could have easily canceled like I did last week. But I really held that time sacred to make sure I did some self-care, because that will help reduce cortisol and those stress effects on our body. Oxytocin and cortisol kind of oppose each other. So when cortisol's up, oxytocin's down. And what people need to understand, and when cortisol's up for a long, long time, the paraventricular nucleus in the brain will shut down that production, and you get to this dangerous state where both cortisol and oxytocin are suppressed. And that feels like disconnect. That feels like burnout. That feels like depression. That feels like anhedonia, lack of sensation of pleasure. And so we need to really empower oxytocin through the little things in our life and in our mindset, gratitude, love, laughter, these things that we can create in our mind. When we empower oxytocin, that's the antidote. And that's the ultimate antidote. And everything else we do, our diet and our lifestyle and our supplementation and producing the energetic body that we need, really, really accentuates that.
I can't tell you how many women come to me and say, I have adrenal fatigue. How do I get out of it? And it's just what you're talking about, where cortisol and oxytocin have flatlined and you're just kind of at a loss. Yep. And how do you get that back? And it's, the adrenals take over the hormonal production as we enter menopause. So there's that extra pressure on your adrenals. And then I always tell people, which a lot of people don't, talk about, is that your adrenals sit on your kidneys. So if your adrenals are overworked, then your kidneys are inflamed, and then there's water retention and edema and other things that are backed up in the liver and the kidneys and your adrenals, and they're all intertwined. It's like this domino effect of everything working wrong, and how do we get everything to go backwards and work right? So let's get into your book. And what you're talking about is your 5 plans and what is right for you. And so let's go through each plan, because it's really interesting. As you were talking about these different plans and how to rotate them, I thought, gosh, it's really interesting that me intuitively, and you laid out why, but intuitively, sometimes I feel like just eating plant-based. Sometimes I feel like being a carnivore. And I've tried all different modalities. Sometimes I need to avoid just certain vegetables. So let's go through.
Exactly. Right, Sarah, you're so intuitive that way. And that's it, and that makes sense. And certain seasons, we talk about eating with the seasons and eating based on your heritage, and also not eating the same thing every day. So I've kind of been on this rampage of, if I read one more diet diary that has chicken salad in it, I'm tearing it up. Tearing up the old days when we used to have paper in front of us. But we think that we're eating it every day, so it's healthy. The fact that you're actually eating it every day may not be healthy anymore. And also what we ate, how it was treated, what it was injected with, and there's the whole poultry story too. But that and alpha linoleic acid can increase arachidonic acid. So all of that to say is that we do have to shift things up. And when I work with patients, when I've worked with, thousands and thousands of women online now going through my Keto-Green plan. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, well, let's pause all meat for a while and really work on your gut microbiome, your digestion, get rid of this constipation. Let's focus on this, or we need to do a cleanse, or we have to pause all nightshades, or, what we have to add carbs back. Lucky you. It's never my issue. But so these are the things this is where the 5 plans came from, the pauses. And I say there is magic in the pauses of our lives.
Absolutely. It's kind of that reset in one sense or another. It's kind of like workouts and exercise. If you go for an 8-mile run every single day, you're going to wear down your body. Your body's going to stop responding, and it's not going to work. You need to change it up. So let's go. Can you explain the different 5 plans for us?
So with the plans, there's a quiz you can take. There's questions at the beginning of each plan that says this may be you for, if, but I do recommend that you go through the plans and rotate them the first time out and journal what makes you feel better, what, what didn't, when you added something back, how did that make you feel? So there's homework to be done. And it's a beautiful cookbook, by the way. So the recipes, the plans, the shopping list are all in here with reasons for why to do each plan. And so the first plan is my Keto-Green Extreme plan. And I say, the magic begins, right? The magic begins. So Keto-Green Extreme is basing my healthy keto, healthy fats, high quality protein. We need protein for muscle, bones, everything else. We need fat for satiety and hormones. So we can't, and then we need lots of greens to feed our microbiome to support digestive health. And so with intermittent fasting, that's the Keto-Green basis. Now, the Keto-Green Extreme eliminates all nightshades. It eliminates nuts and peppers and eggplant and tomatoes, and I'm Middle Eastern. So I love my baba ganoush. I love tomatoes in every way. I can eat it like an apple, right? It's beautiful. And so it's probably one of the hardest plants for me. So, but it's oftentimes if you have an autoimmune disease or Hashimoto's, then this is something, and you've hit a plateau, or you're not seeing a shift, or you're not getting where you want to. This 6-day plan is really, really powerful for that. And you'll get satisfied. You won't feel hungry. Your body will be nourished, and the recipes are beautiful. So that's the first plan. I can tell you one of the recipes in my Keto-Green Extreme plan that you'll really, really love is, it's one of my fish recipes served on a bed of arugula with my cilantro lime dressing. And, just gorgeous, healthy, and satisfying. So the second plan, would you have any questions about that plan, Sarah?
No, that's it. That is what that is what you've been focusing on, and we talked about last time. And so it's really interesting that you have added these other ones. So I'm really curious and how you've alternated into the other plans as well.
Yeah. And so the next plan, oftentimes when, people are going keto or restricting carbs, they often become constipated. And in fact, I was interviewed on a wonderful radio show the other day, and the host was like, well, I've dealt with constipation my whole life. She's in her mid 40s. And so basically given up, and her voice, I could totally hear, she gave up on the idea that it could be fixed. Let me tell you, this plant-based detox will go a long way to fixing and helping with constipation. The plans and rotating them will help with that too. If we're not having a bowel movement a day, and I spent my life, seriously, the first 3.5-4 decades of my life dealing with constipation. I mean, and for my patients, I would ask them, are you constipated? And they would say, no, I'm fine. And then I would examine them and I would think, gosh, you got bloating, you really feel constipated. How often do you use the bathroom? And they would tell me, once or twice a week, having a bowel movement. I was like, okay, if you're not having a bowel movement once or twice a day, you're constipated. And that used to be me. Used to have to put fingers in the vagina to help reduce the stool. And after childbirth and with age and prolapse, that can be a possibility. That doesn't happen anymore. And I've reversed that in so many patients non-surgically. So I think that's really important to say. So also our gut microbiome, and you talk about this a lot, the gut microbiome supports serotonin production, supports estrogen detoxification. Our gut is the first line of defense for our immune system, for our body, and trillions of bacteria within our body. So we really focus on a diverse plant-based detox here. And it is Keto-Green, so it's low carbohydrate. My vegetarians, you will love this because this is kind of giving you another way, another option, and substituting. There's no grains in this plant-based detox at all. No grains, no legume. You will love it. And then we go into the complete carbohydrate pause, which is a carnivore-ish plan. And you'll see my cardamom seared liver that my daughter, who's 14, will have second helpings of. I mean, really, really delicious. And because sometimes our digestion is so essentially dysfunctional that we're not digesting the plants. We are very sensitive to them. So eliminating them for a short time can be necessary, and you'll see those results pretty quickly. And I do nose to tail in this plan, and the recipes are really balanced. And also, you'll get into high ketosis, and you'll feel amazing. You'll feel amazing. And then the
And
next,
you're also giving your body all of those great amino acids for the muscle building. And I honestly, Anna, I feel my very best when I prioritize the protein, and then I will play around with the vegetables, whether I eat them or not, or minimize them. But that is something that I think women are afraid to eat too much protein. So I'm really excited that you have incorporated that. And I can't wait to try those recipes. I know liver is so healthy for you, but it's something that I have not dived into as far as eating it or cooking it.
yeah, try this recipe. You will really, really like it. And that's the thing too. For me too, prioritizing protein. That is I'm very conscientious about that. And I did do carnivore, experimenting with it, and I did it too long for me. Even more than a few weeks for me was too long. My body was doing great, and then that's why I want these. That's where it's like you're intuitive, the sense of rotation. I do better Keto-Green. That is my gold, right? That is where I function the best. But sometimes this experimentation of like eliminating nightshades, gosh, I did not want to do that. But it's a nice pause. So that carnivore plan is really good. And I think definitely for the short haul, it works really, really well. And then listening to your body. What is it telling you? What works? What doesn't? I mean, we used to eat nose to tail. We don't do that anymore. So now we're taking supplements and glandulars and, additional hormones and all the things that we do. So this is a good ancestral plan. And then you're in high ketosis with this plan. So your brain's on fire, the brain fog, I mean, all of them really, but especially this, your brain fog's lifting. And and really incorporating some important, like you'll just feel better. So you're in high ketosis, you're not hungry. So you don't have to rely on your willpower. And willpower is physiologic. So that's really important to remember, is that when your blood sugar is nice and stable, you're not going to be doing this all day. Right. So and having to need snacks and ridiculous stuff that we do not need in menopause and beyond. And so the next plan is a complete cleanse. It's the Keto-Green cleanse. And this cleanse, it's designed to help support, you'd be so happy, liver, gallbladder detoxification, and gastrointestinal healing. We did this plan pre-book release back in November, right before Thanksgiving, for 6 days in my Girlfriend Doctor private membership community. And the results were amazing. In fact, one of the stories was published on the front page of, you'd see the title on the front page of First for Women magazine. If you go to the grocery store and you grab First for Women, Trisha Yearwood's on the cover, and it says 11 pounds in 6 days. It's a real story. So I think it's really, and we want to diurese excess fluid. We want to heal the cell membranes, close the gaps that are creating issues in our body. And it's amazing. She's continued to do well. She's kept 10 of those 11 pounds off. And I was just so proud of her. It was just amazing. It just feels so good in just 6 days. And she's in her late 60s. And the next plan is where sometimes been in the keto lifestyle for a long time. I have this specifically with my athletes, right? My professional athletes, and they are so dedicated and so like black and white, right? And so, and they hit a plateau. They're not getting as strong in the gym. They're not feeling the results of their workouts. They're not sleeping as well at night. And, in general, for anyone who's been doing this too long, sometimes we have to add carbohydrates back. So incorporate some healthy, higher carbohydrate meals in here that work just beautifully together. And then one of my clients, Debbie, she says, gosh, I feel so much after she eats, the higher carb for a few days, she feels so much better. Her workouts are better. Her runs are longer and stronger. And I think that's important, again, to listen to your body.
Yeah. I find myself needing to incorporate those carbs. I like to do them at night, and I wake up in the morning for my workout and I have that extra boost. But it's all whole food. It's not pizza and ice cream. It's the whole food, complex carbs, or fruit is fine with me, but some fruit is not good because it's full of oxalates or things that are not good for my system as well. Real quick, we are going to take a short commercial break, and we'll come right back with Dr. Anna Cabecca and talk more about her other plans. Welcome back to Accelerated Health Radio and TV. I'm your host, Sarah Banta, and today we have Dr. Anna Cabecca talking about her new book, Menopause, and all of her amazing recipes in it, and the thought that we need to rotate what we're eating. All of these recipes, all of these plans are more ketogenic based, or let's stabilize our insulin, because that is the goal here. Because with insulin resistance, we're going to have more PMS, more hormonal issues, more adrenal fatigue, and the chronic disease patterns just are going to go and go and go. And I believe you're muted, so you need to unmute yourself.
Yep.
But as far as the last, I believe we've talked about 3 or 4 of them. Which ones are we missing so far?
No, those are the 5. So Keto-Green Extreme. And so that's autoimmune based. Autoimmune protocol follows those with eliminating nightshades. And then the second plan is all plant-based, and that's my plant detox. And the third is carnivore, basically low carb plan, and a carnivore-ish plan. And the 4th is the cleanse, and the 5th is the carb up plan.
And I love the fact that you recommend everyone try them all and rotate. And our bodies do get too used to eating something, and we need to rotate that out. I've noticed, as I've mentioned. Let's talk about what you are seeing as far as symptoms with estrogen dominance, or what the symptoms of menopause, and what women are seeing in getting any relief from these with these plans.
Yeah, so definitely see within a short time, right? Even 6 days, we see a decrease in inflammation symptoms. We see a lifting of the brain fog. We see a reduction, tremendous reduction in hot flashes, and we see release of weight. So those are the 4, and the 5 boost of energy. Those are the quick things we see, because we're empowering our body's own natural detoxification processes in eliminating the excess estrogen and detoxifying it down healthy pathways. And so that's one of the things that we see. And the reason the plan is 6 days is because every 72 hours, the gastrointestinal mucosa is regenerating. And what I've noted, like at 3 to 4 days of any kind of, like starting Keto-Green or starting any detoxification, modified elimination diet, those are tough days. Your body's like turning over the old and regenerating the new, and you're starting to really see some shifting here. So 2 72-hour cycles is for me the shortest time that I really can get a sustainable result.
That's really interesting. I didn't realize it was 72 hours, and that's why you did the 6-day plan. That's fantastic.
Yep.
What is causing the weight plateau, the weight loss plateau, when people are doing these keto programs or they're hitting menopause? What are the things they should be looking out for when they need to get off that plateau?
Yeah. So one is like, we can say, oh gosh, but I'm eating very low carb on keto. And I would say, if you're not testing, you're guessing. And the big thing is that keto diets can be high in purines, can be uric acid forming and acidity forming in general. And then our body's on defense. It's getting more inflamed. And so that's where the alkalinizers come in, hence the green part of Keto-Green. And it's not just in what we're eating, but it's all the oxytocin increasing behaviors that are alkalinizing too. The gratitude practice, the journaling, the positive mindset. And I have a chapter in Menopause on pausing the things that no longer serve you. And so I think that's really a big piece of what I teach. And that's one reason that in the keto world, and for me too, where those plateaus hit, like what's the balance there? And the second part, just in menopause and perimenopause in general, our reproductive hormones are building, which are are declining, which are anabolic steroids, the hormones that build us up. And our inflammatory hormones, insulin and cortisol, are increasing. So we're getting a decline in reproductive hormones, an increase in insulin and cortisol. So we're becoming more insulin resistant as we age. And this is what so many people don't realize. In fact, when I didn't realize it, till recently, but hysterectomy is associated with an increase in diabetes and prediabetes. And if you remove your ovaries at the time, if you have your ovaries removed, you have a further increased risk of diabetes and prediabetes. So the question is it the hysterectomy removing the ovaries that cause that increase your risk factor for prediabetes and diabetes? Because menopause in and of itself is a risk factor. So once we hit menopause, our risk for diabetes increases significantly. So is it that, or is it the fact that we're insulin resistant, we're having all this dysfunctional urine bleeding that is part of the reason why we get diabetes? So that has to be teased out a little better. It'd be hard to do a prospective randomized control trial on that, but yet it would be, but it's interesting. It's enough to say, if I do a hysterectomy on this person, I'm increasing the risk of diabetes. How about I really work to insulin sensitize them through this Keto-Green lifestyle and the menus in Menopause? How about if I do that first preoperatively for 2 months? Maybe they won't need the hysterectomy as a result of that. Game changing, right? And we would do adrenal support and progesterone support, probably I would. And so, wow, we could eliminate that need if we're addressing insulin sensitivity. Again, not studied, but interesting to ask. That's a question to ask. So that metabolic resistance that we get has to be addressed. And we do that physiologically with becoming more insulin sensitive and eating alkalinizing foods and alkalinizing practices.
Well, it's that question of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. And this is the reason why women will say, I don't understand. I can't eat and get away with what I got away with 10 years ago, because your body's changed. And then also just naturally, if you are on a standard American diet, you are becoming more insulin resistant as you age, just with time, independent of your hormones changing. So it's double whammy when you've got the other things going on hormonally, and then just your diet has increased your insulin resistance as you've gotten older, just with time. So you've got all of these factors going against you, and then you've got the stress increasing the cortisol, which increases blood sugar on its own without anything else going on. And I think you're frozen, Anna. I don't know if you can hear me right now, but
I hear you.
I wanted to ask. Okay, yeah. There we go. We just have a couple more minutes, and I wanted to squeeze in the Julva cream, because this is a game changer for me and also for a lot of my clients. So if you could just talk about what the Julva cream is, and you guys all can find it at Accelerated Health Products as well.
Oh my gosh, we've got another.
I think we're frozen. Okay, I can hear you now.
Some hot off presses Julva cream, which familiar with is a smaller version, the 30-day version, and vulva is for the upper lips, let's say, the vulva, the most important of your body, clitoris to anus. And so keeping that tissue healthy is critical. Just like we're taking care of our skin on our face as we age, we want to take care of our vulva.
I don't know why her connection is, we're losing your connection, Dr. Anna.
Oh, this is so important. This is so important. I don't know. I'm full on.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Is
You're
that better?
clear now.
Is
Yep.
that better? Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So Julva for the low for.
Oh, it's going out again. Well, this is a cream that I recommend you check out at the website, and you can see the benefits, but it's definitely, we are going to wrap up with Anna because I think her connection is bad, but you guys have to check out her book of recipes. I know so many people are saying, Sarah, okay, I understand I'm supposed to eat this way. I'm supposed to take your supplements and I'll feel great, but what do I cook? I'm not a cook. This is where her book will come in handy, because not only is it going to help you with the recipes, but it's also going to tell you the why and why we're doing it, just as we discussed today. But if you guys have any interest in having other questions for Dr. Anna, she can come back and answer those. We also you can join my group coaching, and the link will be below. I would love to share my knowledge and my information on getting you on board where the supplements, the patches, the education really is life-changing. It is not just a diet. It's not just a 30-day plan. It's not just let's lose some weight and then gain it back again. This is a change where it's going to change your hormonal balance. Your brain fog goes away. The inflammation throughout the body goes away. Your pain goes away. You truly feel like a younger version of yourself. And so if you have any questions for me specifically with your health issues, you can contact me directly through the website, acceleratedhealthproducts.com. I'm happy to put together a protocol for you. I would love for you to join my free group coaching, and the link is below. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Accelerated Health Products, and on my YouTube channel under Accelerated Health Radio. You can find this episode and all of my episodes over 100 different podcast platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Pandora, or whatever podcast platform you subscribe to. And if you like what you heard today, please hit the subscribe button and share with a few of your friends who may need my help. As you share my channel, it helps me help more people like you and bring more cutting edge guests to the show. Join us every week live at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesdays. You can find the supplements and many informational videos on my website. You can use coupon W4HC20 for 20% off site-wide. And if you have questions about the stem cell patches, you can find those on the website as well. The ordering process is a little different, so email me directly through the website and I can direct you on how to do so. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great week.